Hey guys, this is a video response to AL60RI7HMIS7 contest, and so basically I'm going to tell you one positive thing that cubing has done in my life and one negative. But before I'm going to do that, I want to tell you a little bit about my past. And it's really hard for me to tell you guys this right now, but so I grew up in a pretty abusive household when I was growing up, and my dad beat me and my brothers, and not just physically but verbally as well, and he would call me things like fat, loser, and stuff like that, and I think that hurt a lot worse than like the beatings. But so one day I was at school, I was 14 years old at the time, and I see one of the officers that are usually on guard at my school. She came in and sat down at our class, and we're taking our standardized testing for the year. It's called the AIMS in Arizona. So I was taking the AIMS test, and I saw her walk into class and didn't think anything of it really, and then after that testing session was over, then she pulled me into the principal's office just a couple rooms down and started asking me questions about my house. Made me draw a floor plan of my house, like where the windows were, where the doors were. Asked me how many vehicles we had and the last things my parents were wearing. All these questions, and she never told me why. And then I answered all the questions and wondering what's going on, and then they took me down to the police station, and while we were driving there I looked across the way to where my house was, and it was sectioned off by police officers like 2 blocks in either direction, and I saw a lot of people standing outside my house, but we were driving to the police station, so we never stopped. But I was mortified. I didn't know what was going on, and then they took me to the police station, asked me the same questions, and just put me in this blank room, and all I had was my backpack and paper, really. And so I was sitting there for about 9 hours, and then finally my brothers drove down from Flagstaff, and after once they got there, they told the whole family, and all they had to say was "I'm sorry," and I knew the rest. So basically what happened is my parents got in an argument, and my dad shot and killed my mom, and then called the police, and then killed himself. And I was 14 at the time. I'm almost 18 now. And right after the police officer told us that, my oldest brother Chad, he said, "Come on, man, you're gonna live with me in Flagstaff." So my brother took me into his home, and I'm in his home right now, actually. And he's just provided so much for me, and just gave me a second chance, honestly. Because I mean, I don't know where I'd be today if I was still living in Kingman. If anybody watching this knows what Kingman's like, you don't ever want to be there. It's full of drug addicts and stuff. And so I mean, after that happened, I got in a real bad habit of smoking weed, and all I did was smoke weed, like every day. I didn't care about anything, didn't care about my family, didn't care about myself. I contemplated suicide several times. I just never actually attempted it. So I've come a long way, and I started cubing about 6 years ago, and so I'd say definitely a positive thing with cubing is when I was in Kingman, when my parents would get into arguments, I'd just kind of zone out and solve my Rubik's Cube, and it was cheap, easy fun. I mean, it's a one-time purchase until it breaks, and so I had one like Rubik's brand 3x3 that I would solve all the time, and definitely a negative thing would be once I was in Flagstaff, I mean, cubing kind of took over. It just I would just cube. I wouldn't do my homework or anything. But another positive thing is cubing probably saved my life. I mean, yeah, if I was ever feeling down or something, or mad, or any of the extremes on the emotional level, I would just sit down and solve some Rubik's cubes, and it would help calm me down. Yeah, that I don't know what else to say, but I'm almost 18 now. Got a GED, and then I'm gonna start working here, and then getting ready for college. So I mean, good things do come out of bad situations, and no matter how hard it gets, any of you watching this, just don't ever give up. It's not worth it. Yeah, if you ever feel like giving up, and just solve a couple Rubik's cubes, it'll change your mind. Alright, thanks guys, have a good one.